Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. And if things feel just a little bit different, it's because they are. You're actually about, 6 inches away from my normal tripod setup, on my action cam on one of my other tripods here. And the reason for that is because I need to use my phone to start this vlog. So that's what we're doing today, is another vlog. This is going to be another I Watch 3. So recently, Rob over at the Movie Vault posted this, I think it was like the 70s challenge or the 70s decade challenge, something along those lines. It was a really cool idea where he had 5 different categories of films, and he picked one movie from his collection to fit all of those categories from the 1970s. So I thought, you know what? That's a really good idea. First off, go check out that video. Rob's amazing if you don't follow Rob over at the Movie Vault. And second, I want to see what I can do with it myself. And so I decided to take what Rob did and then kind of make it lesser, because everything he does is just 10 times better than anything that I can do. But what I'm going to do is turn this into an I Watch 3 vlog, where I'm going to look at the 1970s, because that's where the inspiration came from. And I'm going to go through my collection app. And what I'm going to do is find 3 movies. The first one is going to be the highest rated film from the 1970s, according to IMDb, that I have not seen. The second one will be the exact opposite. It's going to be the lowest rated film from IMDb that I have not seen. And then the third pick in this movie, or this vlog challenge, whatever you want to call it, is going to be a wild card film that is within 1 degree of one of those other films. So much like, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Basically, it has to be, that third film has to be related to these other 2 by either a same actor, a same director, a writer, whatever, screenwriter, anything really, cinematographer, it doesn't matter. There just has to be 1 degree of separation between one of the highest and lowest rated films and whatever that wild card film will be. And of course, it has to be from the 1970s. So with that said, I'm going to get my phone all set up here so we can, hopefully I can screen share, that's the term I'm looking for, with you guys as I determine what those are, because frankly, I have no clue what these movies are yet, so I thought it'd be fun to do that on camera together. Before we get all into this though, if you guys have a quick second, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right into another I Watch 3 vlog, this time, the 70s Movie Challenge. Alright, so I have my movie app up here. Hopefully you guys can see my screen, but what I'm looking at is my CLZ Movies app, which I get asked all the time, what do I use to catalog my movies? Well, this is the answer, CLZ Movies. You can see right now I have 5,740 movies. Keep in mind, it lists like a box set of 50 movies. It counts those as 50 towards that 5,740, so just keep that in mind. It's not quite what it appears. But what I'm going to do is go in to update my IMDb ratings. And so this is going to take some time. I'll skip past this. All right. So that is all updated. So now I'm going to go into my folders, and I think the best way I can do this is by year. And so I'm going to start with 1970. Wherever I can find it here. I'll have to go through each year, unfortunately, but it's the best I can really do for this. And then I'm going to sort it by the IMDb rating, and I'm going to go in descending order, which means it'll be like 10s at the top all the way down. So I'm going to hit apply, and we'll see what's at the top. Okay, so I'm not going to look at TV series, and Gimme Shelter is at the top there with a 7.8, and then Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Okay, so there's the first one I haven't seen. 5 Easy Pieces, and this is from the America Lost and Found collection from Criterion. So this is from 1970, so it's got a 7.4. So I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to keep looking through. So 1971, ooh, Clockwork Orange takes the cake. I have not seen that one yet. So that's at 8.3. Godfather I've seen. I guess I need to look at the other ones. Yeah, 8.3 still at the top with Clockwork Orange. The Sting is tied at 8.3, so I guess that's an option as well. I will go with Clockwork Orange over that though, just because I'm more interested in seeing that. Godfather Part 2 I've already seen. 1974 again. Let's go to 1975. Yep, 8.3 still takes the reins here. Yep, Taxi Driver I've seen, that's 8.2 anyway. Star Wars, of course, I've seen more times than I can count. Annie Hall at 8.0. I have a feeling Deer Hunter even at 8.1. Alright, last one, let's see, 8.5. Alien, of course, I've seen Alien a million times. Ooh, Apocalypse Now! And we have our winner right there. I have not seen Apocalypse Now. The only bad thing is look at that runtime. Oh my gosh. Almost 2.5 hours. That's a long one, but hey, this is the challenge. So there's our winner. I'm going to take a screenshot of that guy, I guess. So Apocalypse Now is going to be the top one, which is really great because this is a Coppola movie. So doing that 1 degree of separation, which should be relatively easy. All right. So now let's go in reverse order. I'll start at 1979 and I'll do ascending. So it'll be the lowest up to the top. Make note, you might see some adult titles in here, which I don't really talk about on the channel, but that's from Vinegar Syndrome, so they might show up. I'm not going to talk about those in a vlog, so just keep that in mind. All right, so from 1979, we have The Demon. Okay, so that's the other thing I think I might avoid here are these big movie packs, because I didn't seek these out intentionally or individually, so I think I'm going to avoid those, which I feel like a lot of these are going to be that. Yeah, like all of these are action or packs like that. Maybe that's not the best idea. Forget it. We'll go with them. Okay, so now The Demon is at 3.6. So let's keep looking here. We got 1978. Night School is not rated. That's really surprising to me. But either way, Superdome is at 2.8. Oh my goodness. That's probably going to be the winner there. 3.1, 3.2, 2.8. What was this one again? Okay, so Superdome and Frozen Scream, which sounds kind of interesting. Frozen Zombies. Ooh, this one is from Vinegar Syndrome. So I actually might choose this one over the other one at 2.8. 1970. Oh, no, we have Invasion from Inner Earth. Ooh, this is from Arrow Video, Weird Wisconsin, the Bill Rebane collection. Okay. So that is the winner so far is Invasion from Inner Earth at 2.7. I'm not going to count the ones that aren't rated. Piranha's at 2.8. 2.8. All right, last one here, 1970. Okay, there's one of the adult titles I was talking about. Yep, so here is our winner. Where was it? Yes, Invasion from Inner Earth. So another Blu-ray. Taking a screenshot of that so I don't forget. All right, this is really cool. I'm actually really excited for this because I bought this collection a long time ago and haven't watched a single thing from it. So I think that's really cool. So now I'm going to pause for a minute to try to find something that will be 1 degree for the wild card pick for my third film for this vlog. All right, so I got you guys off the tripod and I realized I was looking at this side because that's where my camera lens normally is. So it probably looked really weird. You guys are there, not over there. But anyway, I have you off now with the worst lighting imaginable because I want to find Apocalypse Now. Here it is. All right. So we have Apocalypse Now, and then my wild card is actually going to be related to this, but let me go grab the Weird Wisconsin one first. All right. So Weird Wisconsin is actually going to be right down there, right at the very bottom down here. So that is going to be the second one for this vlog. Where is it? Yep, right there. Invasion from Inner Earth. So this looks like a lot of fun. Excited for that. But now let's talk about what the wild card pick is going to be. I'm going to set that down. So I'm going to go to the Criterion collection. And there's a movie that I've been wanting to see for the longest time starring Martin Sheen. We have Badlands. And this is from 1973. And it is a Terrence Malick film, which I believe it'll be my first Terrence Malick film, but it's about Charles Starkweather, or it's based on the Charles Starkweather, who is a serial killer. Which you guys know I'm a big true crime guy, so I've been wanting to see this for a very long time. I've heard awesome things, so I figured this would be a perfect 1 degree of separation for a 70s movie with Martin Sheen. I actually just watched Project Elf the other day with Martin Sheen, so I was just kind of on a Sheen kick right now. But yeah, very excited for this one. So let me gather everything together here. All right, so this should actually be a surprisingly maybe classy vlog. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but much higher rated films than normal. Apocalypse Now an 8.3 as of right now on IMDb. And then Badlands, I guess I don't know what the IMDb rating is for this. I'll toss it up on the screen though. But it's a Criterion Collection film, so that automatically makes it classy. And then the lowest rated one is what is this? Bill Rebane film from Arrow Video. So I mean, this is a pretty darn good collection of films here. I am really excited to talk about these. So no idea where I'm going to start, but I think that's enough for a super long intro. So let's get into this vlog. All right, so days later, because that's how these things work out, but I decided I want to start with this really odd, weird Wisconsin set from Arrow. So the movie I'm watching in here is, what is it? Invasion from Inner Earth. So let me get this guy opened up for the first time. So that's a positive, opening something new, and see what we have inside here. Because I think there's a booklet in here. If you guys can see that, so it's pretty interesting. So first off, let me get the movie we're actually going to watch out of this. Here we are. Yeah, so this is Monster A Go-Go and Invasion from Inner Earth. I don't know if you can see it on the back there, Invasion from Inner Earth. So, ooh, it's the Canadian wilderness. This sounds fascinating to me. So it looks like this one might be 94 minutes, where the other one's only like 69 minutes. So I get the longer one, so that's interesting. But yeah, let me pop this open. Oh, we got a little art card in here too. Oh, this is just Arrow Video art card. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, that's super disappointing. I think this was one that got knocked down accidentally when it was sitting up on my shelf. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. Now I'm finding out that that's not the case. So that's disappointing. That is cracked. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I wonder if anything else is, but I'll check that later. All right, let's get the rest of these out of here, or at least the interesting parts. So this looks like a poster of some sort. Yeah, that's definitely a poster. So you can sort of kind of see that. I'm not going to open that whole thing, but then we do have a book. So that's pretty cool. From Latvia to Wisconsin, the song remains Rebane. Of course, that is the director's name there. Kind of a creepy image of a clown. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but yeah, it just looks like essays in there. So interesting, very cool. Yeah, so two essays and some information about the transfers. So pretty neat, pretty cool box set. Oh my gosh, I see another case that's all messed up. It's cracked on the edge there. Oh, it's so disappointing. I think I've told this story before, but at one point when oh man, jeez, these are just destroyed. I had no idea. Now, frankly, this could have happened prior. I have no clue. Even this one is broken at the top. Oh, that is so disappointing. Like I said, this could have happened prior, but when we were like having my son, my mom was here helping watch my daughter. And she was like doing laundry for us or something and ended up knocking into one of my shelving units that was in a very bad spot, knocked over the things on top, and this was one of those that was in there. And so I think this probably came from that. It was either that or something happened in shipping. I have no idea, but either way, that's disappointing. Not the end of the world, obviously. The discs are fine, I'm sure. So yeah, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get to watching Invasion from Inner Earth and see if this one is as weird as the box, the namesake on the box claims it to be. All right, so I just finished Invasion from Inner Earth, and I discovered that all of these have reversible cover art, and so that is what is on the other side of this release here. So I actually like that. It looks pretty cool. Honestly, I'm not going to have much to say about this. It's not a good movie at all. It is extremely low budget. Okay, so basically we are following this couple, or they're not a couple, excuse me, they're a brother and a sister, and they are living in like the boondocks, right, in the middle of nowhere. It's like 250 miles north of whatever major city it is, supposed to be in Canada. And from there, they are actually flying this group of 3 men back to the city, but after the pilot takes off, he tries to land, and the person that he's like talking to tells him, don't land, like just go back to where you were, don't do it. He's like, well, we're going to land to figure out what the heck's going on, because they don't really understand what's happening. So the dude like gets in the middle of the runway and stops them from landing. And that's when they realize like something is going on here. So a couple other things happen, and they end up going back to their little, like their house in the middle of nowhere. And that's pretty much where they spend the rest of the majority of the movie anyway. And so, of course, what's happening is there is this invasion incurring from, you guessed it, Inner Earth. They're coming from like the Earth's core and coming up, or whatever the story is. It is such a it's so very light on story that I can't really tell you too much more other than that. And we're just trying to find out or figure out, I guess, who's going to survive. Are they going to, find a way to defeat this invasion from the inner Earth, or what's going to happen? I mean, that's basically the story, and it doesn't get much deeper than that. The characters are not terribly interesting at all. I don't think the acting's very poorly done at all. I think it's fine. I guess most of the actors are from the University of Wisconsin, hence the weird Wisconsin. I guess all these movies were filmed in Wisconsin. And so that was the actors they had available to them. And like I said, I think they're fine for what they do for the most part, but they're giving virtually nothing to do with this script. The worst part about this is that, like, this is an interesting idea. I feel like there's somewhere to go with this, but they go virtually nowhere with it at all. In fact, like, the villain of this story, the antagonist of this story, this, invading force is non-existent in the film in terms of like what you see. You see this red light, and at points it's red smoke. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's the invading force, is a red light and red smoke. Like, I get this is a super low budget film, but I was just watching one of the special features, and I guess they filmed more, but that didn't end up in the movie, like in terms of like this invasion, this alien force. And so that's disappointing, because I would have liked to see that make it in, because it really was lacking without it. So I don't like this. This is just a nothing film. Like, it's cool that this is, available on Blu-ray with this set, but I don't know, like, this is not worth seeking out at all. It was not worth my hour and a half that I spent watching it. 94 minutes. Definitely not worth my time. It was hard to stay focused on what was going on because it was just so boring. No action virtually at all. Maybe like one or two scenes of action, but even those are just silly. Like, there's just nothing going on. The ending is just completely, I haven't the slightest idea what the heck happens at the end of this thing. Not a good movie, not worth my time. I mean, yeah, hopefully the other ones on here are a little bit more interesting, because when I think the reason I got this is because it is like regional horror. Well, in this case, regional sci-fi. And what I like about that is like the low budget special effects that usually go into those, and just kind of like the ingenuity in the filmmaking. And that was just lacking here. And so I've talked like 5 minutes about this, and that's way too long. So I'm going to move on. So that said, like, while I was watching this, and I've been thinking about this for the last few weeks here, I have had this incredible urge to continue watching the Walking Dead TV series. Me and my wife watched like the first 3 seasons, and then we made it a few episodes into season 4, but then we just never went back to it. And so what I'm thinking is I have a couple of boxes of things downstairs that I'm thinking about trading into Disc Replay. And so my thought is I might take those up to Disc Replay and try to pick up like season 4 and 5. I think I'll stop there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll see what I end up doing next. It's either that or jumping on to another one of these 3 films. So, I don't know. This one, I didn't even give it a star rating. My apologies. Invasion from Inner Earth, I'm going to give 1 out of 5 stars. Really, just, it's not worth your time. Don't waste your time with this one. All right, I managed to get some stuff in here. So this is a box of some Blu-rays, some DVDs, and some box sets, and then a box of some Funko Pops, as you can kind of sort of see in there. I decided to get rid of a bunch of Funko Pops that I just didn't need, mostly comic book ones. The like movie ones and horror ones I've kept, and of course my pro wrestling ones. So I'm going to take these up to Disc Replay and see if I can get me Walking Dead season 4 and 5 out of these. We'll see. Alright, so I'm finally out of Disc Replay, and it took a long time, but it was absolutely worth it. So, the boxes I took in, I would have been happy with like $60, $75. Like, that would have been kind of what I was expecting. I ended up walking off with $195 in store credit, so significantly more than I was expecting. So that was awesome. The Funko Pops added quite a bit of value, which is really cool because the vast majority of those I got on like deep discounts throughout the years, and I just don't need them anymore. So I do have quite a few Funkos left at home, but most of them now are movie related, horror movie related, or pro wrestling. So those I'm good with keeping. I do have a couple comic book ones, but I got rid of a lot of the comic book ones just because I just didn't need all them. And so I do have a pile over here, which is actually a really cool pile because they had a 4K series on there, which I was not expecting to grab. So instead of showing it here, I'm actually going to show it at home just because I forgot, like, I'm in my wife's car. And so I don't have the window thing in order to clamp the action cam to the car window. So I don't have two hands, I only have one. So instead of showing it here, I'm going to head home, maybe grab some dinner, and then share with you guys what I ended up finding here at Disc Replay, where I spent nothing out of pocket. All this was done with credit, and I still have $100 left, so that is pretty fantastic. So let's get home so I can show you guys what I grabbed. All right, so hopefully the lighting is decent enough. I have you in such a weird spot, like hanging on records against the wall, whatever, doesn't matter. So anyway, I just got done watching NXT Gold Rush, watching Seth Rollins fight Braun Breaker. Nobody's really going to care about that, but that was a fun match. Anyway, that said, I do have some of my Disc Replay finds that I wanted to share with you guys. So, you know, I was talking about getting The Walking Dead. I think I said I was going to get season 4 and 5 just so I had season 5. Well, like I mentioned in the car, I ended up getting a lot more money than I was expecting. So I actually got more things than I thought. So I ended up grabbing the complete 3rd season of The Walking Dead because I figured I at least want to watch like the end of this one because I don't really remember how this season ends. And then I was able to find the 4th season, and this one actually has a really cool lenticular slipcover. I do have to do some work on it because it has this Best Buy sticker on it, but this is actually a limited edition Best Buy packaging. And so these were, season 3 was $10, this was $10. Season 5, which I also grabbed, which has an even better lenticular. That thing is so cool. This one was, like $13, but again, I paid nothing out of pocket for these. But anyway, so I have season 5, and then we have season 6. So I wasn't even planning on getting this, but I was walking through because I was trying to kill time while I was there because I had like it was almost an hour and a half that I had to kill. And I was walking in I think it was in the DVD section, and this one just happened to be there. So I was like, well, it's serendipity. Like, I might as well grab it. So I grabbed season 6. Now, the other thing I got, which I want to share with you guys, which is really cool, is some 4K TV series, which I have almost none of in my collection. I think I have like Planet Earth maybe, and that's about it. Let me grab them. They're over here. But I couldn't pass this up because all 3 of these are unique in their own right. And I actually, a spoiler alert for an upcoming haul video, I just found Westworld on Blu-ray from Big Lots, I think it was. Well, I found Westworld Season 1, which is The Maze, and it has this really cool tin with, like, it's this cool tin. So, not a steelbook packaging, but pretty darn close. It does have a little ding in it. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's barely noticeable. But this does have on the inside, you can kind of make that out on the inside there, but it does have all the discs in a standard case, and it has some really cool things. What is this? A handbook for new employees at Westworld. That's really cool. So, like, if you don't know, Westworld, now I've not seen the TV series at all, but I have seen the movie, and it is basically this kind of like fantasy island of sorts where rich people go and have like their fantasies fulfilled with creatures that look like people, but they're actually robots, and it's really strange. I hope that's not a spoiler. I don't think it is. But anyway, and then I found Westworld Season 2, and this one is unique also because it comes in this cool packaging. So if you open it up, we have everything in here, which is pretty awesome. And this one is called The Door, I think. Yeah, The Door. So I will close that one up. I thought that was pretty neat. And then I found season 3 of Westworld, and this one is called The New World. So this one is more of a like traditional packaging, I guess. It's kind of I forget what these are called, but whatever that is. And then it has the standard 4K discs in there. So yeah, really cool. Like I said, I've never seen these at Disc Replay before, and so I wanted to grab them because I think they're really cool. They were a little bit more expensive. I think season 1 was $20, and then 2 and 3 were $17 each. But again, I spent $0 out of pocket, which is why I splurged a little bit. I have $100 left in store credit, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I want to, whenever I have a lot of store credit, I want to get something big, but I don't know what to do. They did have like a Sega Saturn there, which was really cool, and a 3DO, but the 3DO was like $200 and the Sega Saturn was like $150, and then the games for the Saturn are astronomical. So I'm sure I won't go that route. But yeah, so anyway, I wanted to share these with you guys. I will include these in a haul video just because there are so few of you that are watching this that compared to like my haul videos, so I will include those there. But I really want to get on The Walking Dead at some point here because like I'm genuinely excited to get back to it. So anyway, it is now extremely late and I need to go to bed because I have to go to work in the morning. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up today. So hopefully the next time we meet, I will be watching another movie, but I guess we'll see where the day takes us. All right, so excuse the hat, but it is a lazy Sunday. It's actually the 4th of July weekend now, so I've been doing this vlog for a couple weeks now, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, I am going to watch Badlands. It's just me and my boy at this point, and he's too young. He doesn't really care what's on the TV. He just likes watching moving images. And so I think I'm going to put this one. Frankly, he's probably going to fall asleep anyway. So I'm going to check this one out finally and see what it's all about. And actually, the Criterion collection sale just started, so this is very fitting. You're not going to be able to see it. I'm not even going to show you. Over there, I have it set up to do a collection tour of my Criterion collection, so that should be coming. Well, by the time this video goes live, hopefully it'll already be up, but yeah. Anyway, enough talk. I'm just going to pop in Badlands and see what we got. You know what? Now that I say that, let me find something here because I went to Media Reload to pick up some more. Can you see them down there? Some more blind boxes, because every Thursday in July I'm going to open a new blind box, which again, by the time this is up, that should be probably already going. But while I was there, I ended up finding The Walking Dead Season 1 and Walking Dead Season 2. Now, I know I have that credit at Disc Replay, and they have them there, and I said I wasn't going to get these, but I might as well just collect, all of them at this point. And these were like half the price at Disc Replay, so I spent less than $10 on these. Actually, I spent like $5 on these because with the blind boxes down there, it's buy 4 get 1 free. So I think I got Season 2 for free, and I spent like $5 on Season 1. So even though I was using cash instead of credit, my store credit, it just made sense. So now I have the first, 7 seasons, I guess, now of The Walking Dead, and I'll probably grab the others as I go, not in this vlog, I'm sure, but yeah. Anyway, let's watch Badlands from Criterion Collection and see if that one is any good. Alright, so I'm upstairs, so please excuse the lighting, but anyway, the family is back, and fortunately I was able to finish Badlands before everyone got back home. So let's talk about the Terrence Malick debut feature, Badlands from 1973. So this was a good movie. We have Martin Sheen as the Charles Starkweather character, and then Sissy Spacek as his teenage love interest in this. I honestly didn't remember the real story of Charles Starkweather, but he's one of the first infamous spree killers out there. And I actually went back and read something about him after I watched the movie, and boy oh boy, this is a romanticized version of the Starkweather story because he was just awful. Look it up, wiki it if you're interested, because it is dreadful. I will say his path of destruction, like the age range was like 58 years old all the way down to 2 years old. And the way he did that, it's some awful true crime stuff if you're interested in it, so check it out. But anyway, with this, what this reminded me a lot of in reality was Bonnie and Clyde, a very similar style of story, told in a very similar way as well. So basically we follow our two main characters here. Martin Sheen's character kills Sissy Spacek's father because he doesn't want them to be together. They fake their own deaths and they run off to live in the woods together, trying to avoid, being caught, essentially. And that we're watching them on the run. So very much like Bonnie and Clyde, except without the bank robberies of Bonnie and Clyde. And it felt like Bonnie and Clyde had to be an inspiration for Terrence Malick in this, which I like. I really liked Bonnie and Clyde. Frankly, I think Bonnie and Clyde is the superior film, but this is still a good movie. It was really interesting because Malick uses a voiceover in this. Sissy Spacek's character. It's almost as if she's reading from like diary entries or journal entries. And so that was interesting. And then I got to reading the back of the box and it turns out that that's like one of his things, I guess, is, what do they call it here? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, the unusual use of voiceover. And the other things in here I noticed as well, like the beauty of the natural beauty of kind of where they were filming and where they were living and things like that out in the wilderness, mixed with the like horrific scenes of brutality with these murders that we see. It's an interesting thing. I think it's acted extraordinarily well. Sissy Spacek is great. She is such a unique character, or such a unique actress, I guess. And she handles her roles really well. Outside of this and Carrie, I'd have to look through her filmography to see if I've seen anything else from her, but I really would like to see more because I think she's just so interesting to watch on screen. She has such a unique presence about her. And then Martin Sheen, oh my God, like his son looks so much like him at this age. It's just crazy. And there's a sequence where he's running through the woods or like this open field with a shotgun in his hand. It was very reminiscent of something I've seen from his son. And so that was pretty cool. And I think he's just excellent in this. So I'll give you my score now, I guess. I'll give Badlands from 1973. I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really good movie, but really there was just nothing in it that kind of blew me away which like a movie doesn't have to do that, but it just never really got to the next level for me. It's a good film, and maybe on retrospect, that's like my first impression. That's what I put it on and Letterboxd was 3.5, but maybe it is a 4-star film. It's just, there's so many kind of like odd moments in this. Like there's a lot of just, we see the scenery around where they're living and things like that it didn't feel like it was padding it out at all, but it can get a little slow, I guess. But I don't know, like I tend to really like that type of thing in general. So I don't know, it wasn't that there was anything wrong with it, I guess. It just, maybe my expectations were too high, given that this is a Criterion Collection film and I've heard really good things about it, and it was based on a serial killer. Or a spree killer, serial killer, whatever you want to call Starkweather. But maybe it just romanticized it a little bit too much for me. And the other thing I will mention, and it's probably not Criterion Collection's fault, but the audio on this Blu-ray, I found very tricky. So of course I'm using the same setup I typically always use, my surround sound setup, my Dolby Atmos soundbar, which normally sounds phenomenal. But this one is a mono soundtrack, so you don't have to worry about any of that, like heights or anything like that. It's just everything's coming, the same audio is coming out of every speaker, basically is how it should be working. And I was losing some of the dialogue. It just didn't feel like it was mixed very well. When Martin Sheen's character would talk, it was hard to hear it. But then when Sissy Spacek's character was talking, it was really loud, especially in the voiceover. So that part was kind of strange. It was a weird mix, I guess. The music was really loud. So I don't know. That was a little distracting, frankly. The fact that I was having just a hard time hearing it. So that always takes me out of it when it's just like, I just physically can't hear what's going on. Like that always takes me out of a film. But yeah, good movie. I don't want to take anything away from it. It's a good film. It felt like Bonnie and Clyde, and Bonnie and Clyde is just a better movie. And so it is what it is. But that said, I didn't even realize that this was actually Terrence Malick's debut feature, which makes me really happy because I really wanted to watch through Malick's filmography in order. And so now I've seen this one, I can move on to the next one. I've not watched any Terrence Malick films, but always heard really great things. And so I'm very intrigued to see kind of where he goes from here. So I love, just by happenstance, I happened to start with his first movie. I love that. My AC unit's turning on up here, so I better wrap it up. So like I said, Badlands, I'm going to give 3.5 out of 5 stars. Good film. Nothing really blew me away. I'm happy to have it from Criterion, and I do want to watch some of the special features on here because there is the episode from American Justice about Starkweather that I definitely want to check out, so I think that's really cool. So now I have the long one coming up, and I just don't know when I'm going to get around to this one because it is so long, but hopefully I'll enjoy it. But I'm going to wrap it up there because I don't want the sound to get even worse than it already is. But yeah, Badlands, definitely a worthwhile film. All right, so it is actually now the 4th of July, so I figured what better time to watch Apocalypse Now. It's a long one, though. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to it just because it is so long. So I'm going to start it today. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it. It's interesting, though, because this Blu-ray release is just loaded with stuff. I don't know, you won't be able to make it out, but there's just tons of special features on the back there. It says 9 hours of bonus features, which is crazy. And it has Apocalypse Now and Apocalypse Now Redux. As of right now, I have no idea what the difference is between the two, but I'll probably look it up after I'm done watching the movie, just so I know. But here we go. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a marathon, but hopefully I'll be able to get through this one. If not in one sitting, hopefully in 2, but we shall see. I really want to get through this vlog so I can move on to other things. Oh, you know what? Where are they? Where is it? I swear to God, I just picked it up. Give me 1 second. Here it is. They were hiding under another movie. Anyway, I did end up grabbing 2 more seasons of The Walking Dead. So I grabbed season 8 and season 7. So now I have seasons 1 through 7. I don't see myself grabbing any more, especially during this vlog, just because hopefully this thing will be ending in the next couple days here. But I had the credit to use at Disc Replay, as you guys know, so I figured, you know what? They have them. I might as well grab them. They actually had season 9 also, but the 5-disc set was just destroyed. Like the Blu-ray case was just destroyed. And buying a new Blu-ray case for a 5-disc is surprisingly expensive, so I wasn't going to do that because it was already $25, which is too much to spend anyway. Oh, and I got like a grail from Disc Replay. It's a wrestling thing. I'm not going to show it here, but I am just like so excited. I did use all of the rest of my store credit today, but it was absolutely worth it. But anyway, enough blabbering. I have a lot of watching to do. So let's get to Coppola's Apocalypse Now. All right, well, here's something I didn't see coming, but my Blu-ray disc is skipping and now it won't play. So I made it about an hour and 15 minutes into the movie and it hit a roadblock and just wouldn't continue. I tried restarting and playing again. I can get it to like 2 chapters ahead, but then I missed 20 minutes of the movie, so I'm not going to do that. I tried moving from my 4K player over to my Xbox Series X, and the exact same. So it definitely tells me it's the disc, and I'll put a picture up of the disc. It looks like there is something wrong with the disc, like maybe just a manufacturing error, but I don't know that that would affect this portion of the movie because it's at the very edge. So not a clue what's going on with that, but that sucks. And so I didn't expect to not be able to watch this, but that said, the 4K edition, which is actually like a 6-disc edition that has the final cut, the Redux, and the theatrical cut in 4K, it was only like $17. So I ordered that on Amazon tonight, and I'll have to wait for that to get here. And it doesn't look like it's going to get here for, well, today's Tuesday, so it'll be here Thursday, so not too bad. But that means that this vlog is going to be even longer than I hoped. But yeah, did not see my physical media giving me an issue. But either way, I get to upgrade to 4K, so I mean, that's good. I'll mention the Blu-ray sounds amazing. This is just 5.1. The 4K that's coming in the next couple days, that has a Dolby Atmos. So I want to go back and watch some of those scenes with the helicopters because they sounded amazing on 5.1. I can only imagine how good they're going to sound on Dolby Atmos. But anyway, that's where I'm at. My physical media has failed me, so I had to go to Amazon to get the 4K edition. So I'll check back in after I get that new edition in. All right, so it's a few days later now, unfortunately, but I finally got my new package in from Amazon. Actually came in like 2 nights ago, but we weren't here last night, so it sat outside. So hopefully it's in good shape, but let's unbox this together and take a look. There it is. Man, this is a big old box set. So this is a 6 and of course because it comes in one of these. The packaging is messed up. I'm sure you can't see it, but not perfect, but that's all right. This was remarkably cheap for a 6-disc set. That's really impressive. You know what? Let me see if I can get this thing open. Give me 1 second to get a knife. All right, so I got it opened up here, and it is actually in a bit of rough shape, but it is what it is. Anyway, let me show you guys on the inside. So this is actually a pretty remarkable set. So on this side over here, we have the Apocalypse Now Final Cut on 4K, and the theatrical and Redux on 4K, which is cool. Then we have that same combo on Blu-ray. Over here, though, we have the special features disc on the bottom, which I'm going to assume is probably the same that's on here. What I didn't know came with this, and this is awesome, is actually Hearts of Darkness, the filmmaker, or a filmmaker's Apocalypse. I didn't know that came with it, and I was actually looking at picking up that Blu-ray on Amazon, but it looks like it's out of print, so it's really expensive. So, I mean, that's awesome. I had no idea. And this was all $17. Like, that's ridiculous. And so just an amazing deal. I have no idea why it took me so long to get this. Probably just because I hadn't seen it and I didn't know if I would like it or not. But yeah, anyway, I'm probably not going to put this on again tonight just because it's super loud, even with just like the 5.1. So the Atmos is going to be even better, I'm sure. So I want it to be a little bit louder than maybe normal. And everyone just went to bed. So instead of putting this on tonight, I'll probably put this one on tomorrow and finish it. But looking forward to finishing this one. Glad that I now have it on 4K. Because this box set is just remarkable for $17 or whatever it was. Really good deal on this. All right, so I am back where I started this entire vlog, and Apocalypse Now has been consumed, and that makes me very happy. So I'll start by talking about this. First off, I'm an idiot. So I popped in the disc, the 4K disc, that has both the Redux version and the theatrical cut. And instead of like hitting play on the movie and selecting one of the options, I just went to the scene selection. Well, I didn't think about, I'm going to set this down just because it's annoying to hold on to, but I didn't think about it at the time, but it defaulted to the Redux edition of the film. And so I was watching and I was like, man, I really thought I was closer to the end than I was. So the theatrical cut is around 2 hours and 27 minutes or so. The Redux is about 3 hours and 16 minutes. So it's like a 50-minute difference. Turns out it defaulted to the Redux cut. So when I picked up from where I left off, I actually went back a little bit, but basically picked up from where I left off, I was watching the Redux cut. So my first experience with Apocalypse Now, the first half of the movie is the theatrical cut, and the second half of the movie is the Redux cut. So stupid of me. I didn't even think about it. I was wondering, like, why in the world does this feel so much longer than I thought I had left? And that's exactly why. I had, like, maybe an hour and 10 minutes left. But then with that, I had like almost 2 hours left. That was ridiculous. The one major difference I noticed, because I like fast forwarded through the theatrical cut to see if I could like catch what was missing. And the one big difference was the scene where they trade basically the playmates for the oil. That whole scene is just missing in the theatrical cut, which I think is interesting. There's obviously a lot more because that scene was maybe 15 minutes. I don't know, maybe. But so there was a 50-minute difference in total. So maybe it was things before that also that were cut out, but whatever. Regardless, yeah, that's a long movie. There's no doubt about it. Apocalypse Now is long, especially when you add on extra time to it. But either way, I thought that's a very good film. Obviously, I'm not saying anything revelatory. Apocalypse Now is a great war movie. It is insane. Like, I hope not very realistic, but like I'm afraid that it is. Like, just the horrors of everything there. And that's a very fitting word to use if you've seen the film, you know, the very end. But it is absolutely insane. Watching the growth of some of these characters, in particular, there is a character who's like a professional surfer or something, that Martin Sheen's character joins in with, and his progression from like seemingly normal to this just absolute like lunatic by the end of it is so interesting to watch. Just like what the war does to him. Obviously, acid played a part in that as well. Drugs played a part in it as well. But I don't know. It's scary. It is terrifying. Just the things you witness in this. It's so crazy to me. Like I said, I hope it's dramatized. I hope it's played up compared to what people actually had to go through. But yeah, just crazy stuff. Like, it goes from being like very clear, it's like a pretty standard war film. Then it gets surreal at one point, especially specifically like talking about that shift in that scene in the Redux cut where you get to trading the oil for the Playmates. Just such a weird, bizarre scene. I kind of understand why it was cut, but just an odd moment. And that kind of takes it into the world of the surreal. And it stays there for a little bit, but then we get to the finale and things kind of get more grounded again, I guess I'll say. And it's just crazy. Like with the Redux cut, there's also extended parts in the ending, which frankly, it lost me a little bit in different moments in this film. And one of those moments was toward the end with Marlon Brando's character. He talked so much. And I was like, what is going on? Oh, there was another scene, which, you know what? I don't know if this one was in the theatrical cut either, but a whole other scene where they're sitting at this table with all these Frenchmen. And that, I was completely lost. I was doing my best to pay attention, but I was just lost on that. I have no idea what the heck was going on there. I feel like that was gone from the theatrical cut. So I probably would have liked the theatrical, the second half better if I stuck with the theatrical cut, but it is what it is. So the ending to this, like the last 10 minutes I thought were absolutely riveting. I thought they were just phenomenal, but there were so many moments in the movie where I was a little bit bored. It just felt a little slower than it maybe needed to be, felt a little longer than it needed to be. But again, like that's mixing two different cuts of the film. So I just messed myself up doing that. But yeah, still a really good movie. I'm so happy that I now have it, in my mind. I finally saw the line, I love the smell of napalm in the morning, and toward the end of it when he comes up, Martin Sheen's character comes up through the water, like very iconic scenes. And so really cool to see that. I loved how Marlon Brando's character was built up throughout the entire film. And then we finally get to the end and the reveal, he almost feels mythical in the way he's portrayed. And that's obviously very intentional. So I thought they did such an awesome job with that. And it's just such like a larger than life character with one, the character himself, right? This like basically a cult leader at this point. And then two, it's Marlon Brando, like an icon. And so it just worked really well. I love that. I loved the ending to this. So I am going to give Apocalypse Now, I'm giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed that one, but I definitely am going to watch it again. I'll probably just do like one of the cuts, like maybe the final cut next time, since I've seen a lot of the Redux cut now and half of the theatrical cut. I'll probably do the Redux cut. But before that, I want to watch Hearts of Darkness because I've heard that's just a phenomenal documentary. So that one I definitely will, which I'm so happy my Blu-ray disc died on me and I was able to get this 4K edition because now I have Hearts of Darkness in there as well, which is really cool. But yeah, so that is my 70s challenge. I watch 3 vlog. I will try to remember to link to Rob's video down below just to give like the inspiration for this. Also, what should I do with this Blu-ray? Should I send it to the thrift store? Throw it out because it doesn't work? I don't know. Probably just give it to the thrift store, but let's just recap real quick where we started this. I have one hand, so excuse me while I try to grab this. There we go. So we started off with the Weird Wisconsin box set with Invasion from Inner Earth. The movie was horrendous. I don't recommend it at all. Hopefully the rest of these are a little bit more entertaining, but we will see. And then we went over to the Criterion collection, which is very fitting given the month that I'm doing this. The Barnes & Noble sale is in full swing. So I watched Badlands with Martin Sheen, and he's fantastic in this. And I enjoyed this one as well. Very good movie. And then we wrapped it up with Apocalypse Now. So we have the highest rated movie from the 1970s in my collection that I've not seen. The lowest rated was from this set here, Invasion from Inner Earth. And then the 1 Degree of Separation with Martin Sheen. That was fun. I hope you guys had a good time with this vlog as well. It's just fun to watch through movies in my collection and just kind of share the experience with you guys. So I hope to do a lot more of these vlogs as the months go on. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you hate these? And if you do, maybe I'll stop doing them. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know what you think of these 3 movies. Have you seen them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? What are your thoughts on them? And let me know which decade you would like to see me do next. Obviously, I'm not going to do the 1970s. And and my next I Watch 3 vlog will not be decade related, but let me know down below which decade you would like me to do this challenge for next time. And so the next time I decide to do the decade challenge, I will pick that one. But I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. So leave any and all thoughts down there. I really do appreciate that. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this one, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies. I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand here, but either way, I'll see you guys next time.